King is back, baby. I'm on gas. Yo, Flex with it. He's fat.
You there, sitting at home, acknowledge me.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Turnbuckle Weekly Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Casey. With me is my co-host, my tag team partner, my hetero life mate. Usually, I say something about him eating hot dogs with his butt, but I ain't got nothing this week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tapped because we just got done recording. What's Indie Wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I keep calling it the wrong name because I'm a bad guest, but that's why I'm a great host. And today, we're making hits.
We are.
We're making hits. You know what I mean? We got somebody on the show today that we've been wanting for a really long time. Somebody that very entertaining. Can't wait to see a possible WWE Championship win.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any more of these. Like,
Look, and can I just say that we've had 1,000 graps, like people wanting to get on
You're
this show.
You're trying real hard to make
I am.
make these Willie Finesse puns. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this week we have on Willie Finesse. How you doing today, buddy?
Sure, man. I'm good, man. We here, man. Just had a good old Christmas party.
That's right.
Oh, that's what I forgot.
How could you forget a Christmas party like that?
In the intro,
my Lord.
Excuse me, let me go back to it. The 2025 most loved superstar in the WWE, Willie Finesse.
There you
that
go.
part.
That's crazy, man. That's a crazy award, man. People don't realize how crazy that is when you look at the level of competition that's out there. That's what keeps me motivated. You got people like MK Swift, Lizzie Six. You got the whole high society. It's four of them. And you got Munchie Gonzalez. You got so many people, Dash Ricardo's fighting for this spot. So it's an honor to have that award, for real.
I mean, yeah, it was, I got to tell you, man, it was real emotional, like just sitting there and watching. There was things talked about that I'm not 100% on, but from what I understand, like this was a big deal for you just going from, being with the company, no longer with the company, coming back into the company, not only one of the most over superstars, which is going to lead into a story I got to tell you, and then, becoming the most loved, which being the most over, I got to tell you this story, because you do this every week, so I'm sure they don't always stick with you. So I got in Bowling Green, right before Halloween Hell. You're wrestling. I forget who you're wrestling, but
Game Time Onyx.
Yeah. So y'all doing your thing right before Halloween Hell. In Bowling Green, there was Trunk or Treat not too far away, so we only had front row there. This is when Leon and I were still guests. I think we found out on the way to that show that we would be working with the company.
Out like a little kid.
Yeah, but I brought both my sons with me, and you come out, and my 8-year-old who's sitting in Leon's living room playing 2K right now is a huge fan of yours. He watches your videos, your TikToks. He's all over it.
You are his favorite.
We had to listen to your theme song in the car 3 times just on the way back from Brandenburg out towards Louisville. We were out that way and driving back, and I had to play your theme song on my YouTube several times so he would hush. So you actually, when you usually pull a small kid out of the crowd over the gate and you get him in the ring, y'all do a little TikTok dance. Well, you pulled my 8-year-old that night.
The Gritty. And
he has yet to stop talking about it. It meant so much to him. I really appreciate you making his night. You are his favorite of all time. He goes back and forth between is it you or is it MK Swift, and then he'll be like, he's like, it's Willie.
Hey, MK Swift ain't a bad choice either, but I appreciate that too. Like, that's what I love about the WWA is that they allow me to do stuff like that. Like, they tell me, they like, hey, when you win, bro, take your time. You don't have to rush. Enjoy this. Enjoy these months. And, like, it was actually, I picked the Gritty as the thing because I know all the kids love it and they know how to do it. But it was actually Chris and Ray Waddell. They were the ones that's actually like, hey, what do you think about pulling some kids in the ring and y'all hit some type of TikTok dance or something after, big celebrations? I was like, hey, I was kind of thinking the same things before. I just never pitched it. But, they actually the ones who came out and said something first. And I was like, oh, yeah. So shouts out to them for that, for real.
See, every time I hear somebody be like, oh, yeah, I do this thing, and the origins always come back to one of those two guys every single time.
They're so smart.
I mean, creative powerhouses, man. I mean, they are just insane, and how fast they are too, with how quick they come up with stuff. And it doesn't Chris's promos off top of the dome, just boom, and Ray, same thing, emotions, and it's so great. Which is where I want to go into the question for you. We always try to start every story at the beginning. Every good story starts at the beginning. So, how did you end up coming across the Waddell brothers and the WWA and getting involved? How did that story start?
Like, I've always wanted to be a wrestler, like, 'cause that's what separated me from my dad, who's, like, never been around in my life, especially my growing years, like me being a teenager to a grown person.
Right.
So everything that I did or was doing prior to, I've always loved wrestling, but everything I was doing, I was always compared to him. We got the same name. We got the same face. When I played basketball, they're like, hey, are you as good as your dad? When I played football, are you as good as your dad? So, like, wrestling was that one thing that me and him never had in common. It was like, I always used to watch wrestling with my uncle who used to buy my pay-per-views. So, like, one day, I'll never forget this. I was in Madisonville, Kentucky, where I'm from, and I was just sitting there, and my Facebook call randomly went off. And it was somebody that I didn't follow. I didn't know nothing. And it was like Landon's Hope. It was like a church organization or something. And I answered the phone, and it was just some lady on there. Never told me her name or nothing. But she was like, I've always seen your Facebook posts. And I just want to tell you that, like she basically said, like, described my whole, like, my wrestling life, the stuff that I'm doing right now. She, like, described it right before it happened. Like, so she told me everything. Like, and then the next day, I seen the WWA poster, and they were, like, in Central City. So I went to the show, and it's kind of like what y'all did. I went to the show, I checked it out. I was like, oh no, this actually looks really good. Like, from the ring,
right? The
production. You got to think, this was like 11 years ago. This was about 11 years ago when this happened. So I was like, yeah, this looks good. So I kept coming back to shows just to show my face. And then I finally messaged, I figured, like, I was studying, like, because one of these people own this show, bro. You know what I mean? I was like, I was a smart enough person to know, like, at that point, somebody owns the show that's wrestling, bro. Yeah. And so I just figured out that it was Chris and Ray. They were the top two dogs. So I just shot a message, and I just shot my shot and told them, hey, this is something I really want to do. I've been wanting to do this since I was a teenager. And then they finally gave me the shot.
That's awesome.
And that's exactly how Leon here has always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I had a little cup of coffee about, I don't know what,
2 years.
Sam. No, I mean, like, I'm thinking about how long ago. Sam's 12. It was a little bit before. I saw about 13 to 15, somewhere in that region. I was on. I had a drug problem, so some of those years are a little blacked out. But I trained in Owensboro and then started wrestling, and under some tumultuous terms, I left the business, very jaded, very scorned. Still a fan of the business, but very jaded, very scorned. Then I met Leon, some years later, and this kid right here, he's always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I tell him about the WWA one time, and then he finds one of their posts about one of the shows. He's like, that's super close. And I was like, yeah, it was in Livermore, and I'm from Owensboro, so I was like, yeah, it's right down the road from where I grew up at, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's like, well, let's go. Let's take your kids. And we went out there, and that whole rest of that show was just me and Leon being like, we need to start a podcast. I'd already had something. He finished it up with me. And then he wanted to become a wrestler. He shoots his shot. It's just so, it's so great to have a place like that where you can have that, where, the owner, the promoter, the wrestlers, they're within reach enough that if you want to do this, you can reach out to them, and they'll be like, hey, let me tell you exactly what to do. And then turn you into, this, especially when turn you into this larger than life, over the top character who's loved, very over. It's just amazing how it all kind of comes together that way. Which is going to bring me into, I didn't actually know that you had been with the company that long before.
Yeah.
Because, you don't seem, so that would have been, you would have been pretty young when that happened then, right? I'm going to guess early, got to be early 20s. At least.
No, see, people don't understand how old I really am. I'm 39. I'm almost 40. But a lot of people think that I'm younger than what I am. So it looks like I'm younger than what, you know what I mean?
I thought you and I were at least close to the same. I'm 33. I thought me and you was close as at least.
No, I'm almost the oldest wrestler. I'm like the second or third oldest wrestler. Or oldest person in the building, period. So.
Oh, damn. See, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Well, so you start with a company back then. You go through, and then something you talked about in your speech. You ended up leaving the company, and then you come back. So as much detail as you want to spare, what goes into leaving, and then what comes into coming back? Because we've gotten a couple I've left stories, and they all seem to be about the same.
Well, mine is different. I don't think mine is like nobody else's.
Okay.
Because for one, like, see, I can break the kayfabe now, and I know they don't care for me saying this, but
Right.
the time I left, literally the next show we were going to have, I was going to win the national championship.
Oh man.
So it wasn't like I wasn't on like a high trajectory, you know what I'm saying, when I was leaving. But when we was about to go to the show, literally, or the day or something like that, I was getting ready or something because it's supposed to be in Paducah.
Mm-hmm.
COVID happened. The COVID stuff, when they shut down everything, that's when it literally happened when I was supposed to win the title. Literally the same day. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So COVID was happening, whatever. We're all sitting there, you know, nobody knows what to do. We're all just bored. It's COVID, right? What are we doing?
Right.
We're stuck in the house. So one thing that I'm still big on, like, I've always like collected wrestling stuff. Not just wrestling stuff, but like cards. But I've always been big into like action figures. I still am to this day. I'm big into action figures and stuff like that.
That's what's up. Yeah.
So me, a wrestler that was named by Corey Storm, and a wrestler who used to work for the WWA, his name is Matt Diesel. I'm sure y'all heard this.
Oh yeah, I know Matt Diesel.
Well, me and Matt Diesel, we was like really close. Like, I'm the one who brought him in. I introduced him into WWA. I'm the one who put him on, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like there for him the entire time, like so much that we got like close, like to where he was always coming to my house. Like, you know, there's different when somebody's in your house and they're like around your daughter,
Right?
you know,
Yeah.
your daughter, playing with your daughter. Like, that's a different level of friendship, you know. At least I would say so.
Very different.
But so we didn't have nothing to do. We couldn't like do what we normally do because COVID, you know what I'm saying? So I made this little figure group, and we all three made a figure group, and we was just like, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff. We was like, when we was putting our masks on, going like doing figure hunts, we was like doing giveaways, just building a brand, just something different, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, long story short, we get to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. At this time of when I left, that was the day, I think Chris said 2020, so it would be the 2020 Royal Rumble, whatever was happening there. I went to Chris's house for that, right?
Okay.
And everybody was there. There was a lot of people there. A lot of people from WWE was there. It's like a wrestling party. So I was in there, or never mind, we was at Ray's house. I'm lying. We was at Ray's house, but we was in there watching the Royal Rumble. I never seen Chris the entire time. Right? I'd never seen him.
Right.
The whole time I was there. All right, so I just want y'all to know that's important for this story. So we're watching Royal Rumble. It was just regular. We were just sitting there chilling. When we got in the car, I rode with Matt. He was dropping me off at Madisonville so he can go to Evansville. Once we started getting on the road, he just randomly looked at me and he was like, "Hey, yeah, did you know Chris was there?" I was like, "No, I didn't never see." I was like, "No, I never seen him." He was like, "Oh, I told him you was in there. Go say what's up to you," and he just kind of shrugged it off. That's what he said to me verbatim. I was like,
Oh, man.
dang, why would he do that? What I do to him? You know what I'm saying? That's literally that was literally my thought at first. Like, what I do to him?
Mm-hmm.
I let it go, bro. I just let it go. You know what? I'm about to be the national champion. I got bigger. Like that right there ain't big enough for me to just crash out today. Because at that time I was. Y'all seen the speech. I was terrible. Like in the ring, outside the ring. Just me as a human being, I wasn't in. I let it go though. He messages me the next day. He's like, "Hey man, Chris called me and he told me, man, that you're going to sabotage my future." I said, "Me?" I said, I'm gonna sabotage your future." I said, "Sabotage your future doing what?"
Wow.
I was like, all right, bro. I was like, that's the second time I let what he said slide, right?
Yeah.
There was 2 times I let it slide. Like, he messages me the day after, bro. Like this was like 3 and 4 days, like in a row of him either messaging me or calling me and saying, "Hey, Chris saying this about you. Chris saying that about you." And it was all about the little wrestling figure group, and he was like, it's like basically like Matt was saying, he was saying it was childish, it was childish, like just a bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
I let it slide for like 4 or 5 days straight. We got to like the 6th day, and I got like a whole lot of people that was there. Like when on the last day that happened, I put it on speakerphone so people could confirm. Like I'm not tripping on what I can hear. I told this man, I said, hey, bro, you supposed to be my brother. You call me your brother. You be around my daughter. We supposed to be cool, bro.
Wow.
Why you keep coming telling me? This is why I literally told him verbatim. Why do you keep coming telling me something that this dude is saying negatively about us, but you're not doing nothing? You just keep running to me about it. I said, if you do this again, bro, if you run it, you tell me something else that somebody's saying about me, and you don't stand on it, bro. I said, I'ma handle it. That's literally what I said. Because I was tired of it, bro. Like I didn't feel like I did nothing to nobody.
Right.
He did it again. So when he did it again, and like this is the version of me that I didn't think, or I just did, and then I thought about it later. I just crashed out. I didn't personally message Ray. And me and Ray was really close, so like that's why I really felt bad. I should have just went to my dog at first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went straight. Instead of going to either one of them, I went to Facebook and I started talking crazy.
Oh.
I instantly denounced WWA. I was leaving. I started saying like even stuff that I didn't mean. I was saying all types of like cruel stuff to them. Like I was saying like I can't believe they really even let me back for real. I was saying some crazy stuff, bro. I was wilding out, and that's really where it went. It's really where it went. I just went off and did my own thing.
So, see, some of the other stories that we've heard, because, like, there's been some pretty public things, go on inside there. Like, a lot of people, we told somebody, I don't remember who we were talking to, that we were going to a WWA show. They're familiar with Chris, and they politically don't agree with Chris. And they were like, Chris is a great guy. Don't get him going on politics. Well, Chris and I line up politically a lot, so I want to get him going on politics. I love hearing him go off on tangents. But so people are aware that Chris is not only outspoken, but he's also very passionate about what he's passionate about. So, a lot of the stories I hear is like, Chris and I had a disagreement over this. Chris and I had a disagreement over this, and we were both passionate enough and stood on business enough that we had to walk away from each other. But it speaks a lot to everybody's character involved here, yourself included, that like y'all could come back together, get this thing done. And now, I mean, you've been within grasp of that WWA championship quite a few times over the last 6 months. I mean, right there at it. And then, having some of the top feuds this year, like you and Vanderpool, was something that I enjoyed deeply.
Appreciate that.
And you and Onyx, y'all's cage match, that little bit at the back. That's another. Now knowing what I know now, that little bit where you go back and you give Chris the key, and like we don't know it's Chris, but I'm leaning over. I was like, it's Chris. I'm just being a smart ass, and I was like, it's Chris, and not knowing for sure, and then having that moment together. That made that moment so much more special now. Like that's
it is, bro. That's what. See, this is why I love like full circle stuff, bro.
Yeah.
I have one of my hardest critics is one of my homeboys that I do podcasts with. He's so blunt, honest with me about everything. That's why I love him. Because if he thinks I'm doing something trash, he go like, "Hey, bro, that was trash."
Right.
He literally, like, me and him had this conversation. This exact conversation. I was like, after all me and that dude been through, bro, because he was telling me that cage match was a classic, and he don't ever call none of my matches classic. He'll say they're good, but you did this good, but he don't never call nothing classic. But like we talked about that moment, I was like that. Like I was proud to be a part of that moment with Chris, like his return after all like that we've been through. Like, especially me, because me and him, like, when I was first there, we were never, like, close at all. We were never close because I always thought and I always had this mindset that I wanted, like, and I know this sounds crazy, but this is really what I thought. I didn't want to come off as, like, the person who was trying to beg the booker or be close with the booker to, you know what I'm saying, to get to the title or to be that. Like, I wanted to really do it by myself and really do it by but like, he's really a great person. He's really a great person. And that's really where that's where like I really felt bad at that I didn't even like try to give that a chance. I didn't try to give most of the people in the locker room a chance because I was so standoffish. I didn't know who I could trust. I thought most of these people was out to get me. I thought because I was having popularity that a lot of people was hating on me in the background. Like I just had that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't just hand me a WWE title because I was popular. So like I had a terrible mindset back then. So like it's crazy that he, you know what I'm saying, even trusted me to come back, honestly.
I mean, and I gotta tell you, I mean, that trust was well founded because you are easily, I mean, like I said, the most over person there. I pay attention a lot when I'm a fan there. When I was a fan there, I would pay attention a lot to like who's people responding to, who's everybody like trying to just get an idea. And then now working there, I pay a little bit of extra attention to the fans. And like I sit at the door a lot with Miss Terry. It's one of my favorite jobs to do. Like I love that woman to death. I will sit at that door with her till the end of time. But I decided there's like if I'm gonna sit up here with her, I'm gonna make it count. And I'll go over to the merch table and buy the poppers. And Leon will buy some poppers and we'll go and give them to we'll just pick a random kid and go give one to a random kid. And there was one kid who walks in the door and I look at her and I was like, who's your favorite? And she's wearing your shirt, like one of your new shirts. And I said, who's your favorite? And she's like, Willie. And I was like, do you want this popper to pop it off when he comes out? And she was like, yeah. So I give it to her and I send her off. And then I'm also tallying in my head, like, because a couple of these kids, I don't give them anything. I just say, hey, who's your favorite out there? Just engage them a little bit. And I get another kid. He's not wearing anything but like a white T-shirt. I can't tell who he likes from anything. I said, man, who's your favorite? He's like, Willie, Finesse is my favorite. And I was like, that's what's up, man. I was like, he's one of my favorites too. You go enjoy it. He's got a good one tonight. I was like, he's got a real good one tonight. You're going to enjoy it, man. And then, like, I just started tallying off, and I get 4 names the whole night. I get Dash Licardo, I get Willie Finesse, I get Ray Waddell, and I get MK. But more children than anything all responded Willie Finesse. I mean, so many more of them than some of them. And you would expect, like Dash, I mean, he's about the size of most of them kids.
Yep.
You think they'd like him. That's why my 12-year-old likes him so much. They're the same size. Like, no, most of these kids. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
I think that it works for me, and I'm blessed, and I'm proud that that the kids do rock with me, because I rock with the kids too. Because I understand they their future, and that's who is going to be like leading, you know, America and where we live in the future. It's not going to be us. We're going to be old, or some of us ain't even going to be here no more by the time they get our age. So, you know what I'm saying? I know they the future, and I try to always respect that, and that's why I always say, it's me being 39, people don't look at me like I'm 39 because I update with the times. However these kids are talking, from these kids and these teenagers are talking with the 6'7", I'm gonna do it too. I'm about to do it too. That's why I hit TikTok dances when I come out, because I know like they can understand, like, okay, just because I'm an adult and you're a kid don't mean we can't relate. It doesn't mean we can, you know what I mean? So like I be trying to focus on them kids, and I do just like y'all do. Like that's another reason why like I worked hard. Like I don't like, because there's so many great baby faces like the people you just named and more. So I sit there and I watch everybody's match. I listen to what the crowd responds to. I listen to what they don't respond to. I literally listen to everything, and I watch everything, and then I take mental notes every day. Like I don't like to slack, bro. Because if I slack, I wouldn't have been up there getting no awards, bro. It's too many people trying to achieve greatness around there. That's why when I pull up, if anybody ever see me, if I'm at them shows early, I'm watching the people training. I'm literally, because I'm listening. I'm always going to refresh my mind. Even if I know how to do an arm drag. I've been knowing how to do an arm drag for 11 years now. But
Right.
It ain't nothing wrong with always sharpening up your skills and putting that in your mind. So that's why. I think that's why, because I got so much competition, bro, that if I slack, you wouldn't even be saying Willie Finesse number 1 contender.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of guys there that I mean, they got it, but it's about the charisma. And I think the only person that's even gonna come, like, people ain't gonna just don't understand. The only person who can come close to what you do out there is probably gonna be EB. I just need you to be aware of that. You're only really competing with one guy right now.
No, and I ain't gonna lie, I love my dog, but in my mindset, like in Julie, I be competing with myself, like, cause I'm so strict on myself, not in a bad way, but
right.
I want to be great. I don't want to be just like, I don't want to just be a known WWA wrestler. I want to be known around the world. I don't just want to be the greatest of all time in WWA. I want to be the greatest of all time, period.
Yeah.
I don't want people walking around saying John Cena is the greatest of all time. I want them saying Willie Finesse is. So,
I mean,
like, that's the mindset.
You're hard up to find
He's
anybody.
great. He's great, but he gonna have to come on. He know he gotta come with it. I believe in him, and I'm ready. I'm so excited to see him. I'm glad I don't wrestle this week, because I'm so glad I get to sit there and just enjoy watching him do what he do for real.
I got it.
So
I'm on camera duty on the 13th, so I definitely got to be there. I'm so sad. I've been getting kind of choked up. Like every time I hear John, because I've been eating up John Cena media this week. I finished the Joe Rogan podcast today, and he was like, once we get to the Royal Rumble, they don't give a shit anymore. And I was like, oh man, and like I just started getting emotional. I was like, don't you say that? I will definitely. I'm a little upset. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm running straight home.
Now look,
I'm turning on Peacock
I've done
and
told you that during the show on Saturday in Litchfield, I am starting a "Thank You Cena" chant. I'm telling you right now, it's happening.
But well, which will segue me into this one, just because we're talking about charisma and charismatic people. You are hard up to find anybody on the roster as charismatic as you are, as comfortable on the mic as you are. Every time I see you grab a microphone, or even just when you're talking in the ring, because like you do something I really enjoy. It's something Stone Cold used to talk about all the time. Is you never stop talking. Like when you're in the ring, you're talking. Like you're talking to the opponent. You're talking trash.
He's
You're
a little
talking to
tied
the
up right
fans.
now. He can't talk to y'all.
Like, so where did
So good.
yeah, see, Leon remembers these little bitty details about what you say.
Yep.
Most of the time I'm like, yeah, it's like he's just talking and he's going. And when you grab the microphone and you get him to get louder and louder, like you rattle that. Is that something that like you feel came to you naturally, or is it kind of like at the Christmas party we see some of those charismatic people freeze up while they're talking publicly? So is something you've always been able to do, or did you have to learn that skill?
I feel like I got that from when I used to be a battle rapper. I used to be a big battle rapper too, like before I ever became a wrestler. So, and the funny thing about like that was everything I did it on purpose to like help me for wrestling. Like I would promo, like I would talk crazy. I would get on camera and talk crazy to the person I was like battling, because I had to sell the fight the same way you got to sell a wrestling match.
Right.
And then when you actually get to the battles, you have to not only remember your material that you wrote, which is like, you know, like remembering your matches or remembering your promo or remembering this. You always had to remember your lines or you're going to get up there and choke. You had to understand how a crowd is going to react to get crowd control, to know how to actually work a crowd. And I feel like that always has worked in my favor. Everything I do is like pre-set up. Like I know they're going to go, like even when I do my promo, like you're calling it now, so you're like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. When I go out here in Litchfield and when I hit him with that, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And so when I go out there and be like, I can go out there, hold on, let me give you examples too. You can easily go out there and be like, what's up, Litchfield? Let me hear you make some noise. Right. And then you might get a cheer or two, but it's different when you say, let me hear you make some noise.
Yeah, it's all about how you say it.
You know what I'm saying? It's what you say. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So like I feel like battle rapping, I feel like that really like made me comfortable to do this.
See, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about how they got ready for promos. That's kind of a first. And now that you say battle rapper, it makes so much more sense now that that's what you and Tommy Guns did in Owensboro at the Spin the Wheel, Seal the Deal, which was hilarious.
It was great.
And the crazy part about that is I'm peeling the curtains back. I'm giving y'all all the real scoop.
Oh, yeah.
When that happened, I never wrote nothing for that. Because I was like I have a memory, like the way my memory runs, I can remember anything, but I have to remember what I'm doing. Like I have to know what I'm doing in order. So like I had to wait till he got there. I had to wait till we went over our match and knew everything that we was gonna do in our match before I started even thinking about what I was gonna say. But all I remember is every time I seen Casper Davis, I kept looking at him. I said, "Bruh, I don't know what I'm gonna say to you tonight, but I'm gonna kill you tonight, boy. I'm gonna get you. That's all I remember. And then after, we went over our match, and then that's when I started, like, let me see what I'm gonna say to him.
Oh, Tommy and his
So
orange
I
tights.
really only had like 30 minutes to an hour to think about what I was gonna say.
I died when you clowned on Casper. I was like, he's not even out of here. Like, he has nothing to do with
Smoked him.
this.
It was over.
I was like, he has nothing to do with this. Like, the man fell off the ring, hurt his foot, then he got roasted out of the boot he was wearing. Like, that's not...
I told him I was gonna get. I said, bro, I don't know what I'm about to say to you, but I'm gonna get you today. He's like, all right,
You did too. Yes, sir.
We only got about 2 good weeks of jokes out of Casper for that one. It was me, him, and Sugars all during one of the teardowns. I think it was Owensboro teardown, and Matija was there too, limping around. And Casper and Sugars are going at each other about Sugars not being able to see, and this, that, and the other. And like, Ty walks by, he's like limping through, and then Sugars doesn't see him because Sugars can't see anything. But like, Sugars can't see him, and he starts limping, and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey Casper, who am I?" And I went, "Matija, Montana." And then Casper turned around, he was like, "Yo," and then he just immediately bounced off of it and just ruined Sugars' life. I don't remember what he said, but he just looked at me and he was like, "1 second, boom," and just busted him out. I love that locker room is like that too, because like you were talking about this, with the story earlier about leaving. Like, if I'm not wrong from the stories I've been told, because like I said, I've been told some stories. For a little
Quite a
while,
few.
y'all had some guys working with y'all that talk way too much and would tell me things I didn't want to know. And so I ended up learning that y'all had a pretty like toxic environment back there with certain people. Not the entire locker room, but one
People who aren't there anymore.
Yeah, well, 1 or 2
for
people
sure.
can, definitely not there anymore. And 1 or 2 of those people could splinter off and poison that whole roster.
Yeah.
And then like I walk backstage, my experience in wrestling was very not great. Like, there were 2 groups in the locker room. There was the old guys and there was the new guys. And those new guys we didn't dare go over and ask them old heads like, "Hey, how do I do this in my match?" They saw us as guys coming to take their spots. They didn't want anything to do with us. They didn't take care of us in the ring. They beat us half to death. And then if we, got a receipt in there or something like that, well, then we were chewed out in the locker room. It was a whole thing. So I'm readying up to walk into this locker room being like, all right, somebody's going to big shot us. Like, this is going to happen. I'm like going through all my old wrestling tropes I'm familiar with. Zero of that.
Yeah.
Zero of that happened.
Yeah.
Handshakes,
When
hugs.
I came back to WWA, bro, when I tell you, like, the first couple times, even like before I fully came back, Ray hit me up a couple times about like just doing the war, big surprises and stuff like that. So I always did that. But when I finally came back, like, and actually came back at Halloween Hell for good, I was so on edge about the roster. I didn't know what to expect. And I really knew that, like, and it's fair that some of them was gonna feel some type of way about what I did prior. So already having that, like, it was iffy for me. But then I got to be around like Southside Wrecking Crew and people like that, and they seeing like the younger people, and I was like, nah, man, this is different, bro. This is different. Like, the whole environment of the locker room is different. Like, everybody that even the people that were in WWA then to now, like, everybody's different. Like, the environment, like, it's free, it's happy. It's like people actually just want to be great. Like, I don't think you might got a hater or 2 in there. I doubt it, but I don't really see it like that. And I was expecting that too. I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting that. But no, it's just the best locker room I've been a part of in the WWA.
I mean, I haven't seen or heard of anything like it, like, at all. And I mean, like, I was trying to explain to my girlfriend, I brought her with me to the Christmas party, and she has just been a fan. Like, she, for example, like Chris, she sees Chris as CCW. She doesn't see Chris as Chris. So she walks into this thing thinking that Chris is CCW all of the time. And he is, but he's not at the same time, because like when she gets done, I introduce her to him, she's like, that is such a nice guy. And then like you come over and say hello. She leans over to me and she goes, he's super nice. And then Ryan Ramsey, she sees him and she's like, oh God, here comes Ramsey, thinking Ramsey is like he is when he's out there. And he comes by, hello, how you doing? Clay, pat me on the shoulder. And then she just sits there and she's like, oh, you're being for real about this, that like nobody is really like they are out there. Everybody is a family. Everybody's not, you know. I was like, yeah. I was like, Munchie and Vanderpool just hugged each other. Like, you know, I was like, baby, it's not, it's kayfabe, babe.
Yeah.
Like
well, and see, you know, and that's the thing too was.
No, but that's a good thing though. It looks like it makes people like that, shows you how good people do their jobs. Like, and goes back to why I say I can't slack at all, because if I do, there's always gonna be somebody that's gonna be, you know, have a award over me or shot over me, because like they're so good, they make people believe, nah, they're really like this.
Yeah. Well, see, and going back to when me and Caleb had our tryout, so we go in, you know, just like you thought, well, here we go, we're a couple of new guys coming in,
that's exactly
and
what it was.
you know, they're gonna pick on us, and they're not gonna be appreciative.
Yeah, no, hold on, let me cut you off, because I did warn them. I was like, hey, because again, when I was like, y'all are probably gonna get ribbed pretty hard.
He did, yeah.
No, I rib them. Nobody else does.
We walked in,
No,
and
Thomas does. Thomas likes you.
Thomas does, yeah. We walked in and, you know, to try out, and it was kind of nerve-wracking because, like, the whole roster was out there watching, and I was like, oh, God. And
me too. I was watching too.
we were sitting there and we were doing the tryout, and then it went by. Well, then the next week comes and we get our first day of training, and everybody just walks up. Josh comes up, you know, wonderful guy.
Kayfabe, brother, kayfabe.
Shut up, you've been breaking kayfabe too. Shut
Game
your mouth. Game time, whatever. Onyx, let's just use Onyx for example. Terrible Pokemon, wonderful person. But no, he comes over, you know, hi, how are you? And, you know, so from personal experience now being part of the locker room, it really is a family. It's something that, like Landon said, living Saturday to Saturday.
Yeah,
you know, friends who I never thought that I would meet, who, you know, yeah, we've talked to them on the podcast, but to have a relationship with everybody now and be friends with them is something that I will never take for granted.
I never thought I would be friends with one 19-year-old, little 19, and a 20-year-old, Ricky and Landon. Those are two guys I immediately go to when I get there, because I'm weird. I'm introverted and shit. So that's what I try to explain to everybody when they come on the show. I don't get into circles with y'all because I'm scared shitless of
He waits
people.
until I get there.
Yeah, I'm scared shitless of people. I follow Leon because Leon's personable. I feel like I'm kind of an asshole sometimes, and like I get misconstrued because I will roast you out of your shoes without knowing you. And like some people like it, some people don't. So I get a little bit scared of people, so I have to take Leon with me. But like, so but I'm starting to feel comfortable, and that usually takes me a lot longer than a month to walk around and be able to talk to people.
Saturday, that is the most comfortable I've been in a long time in my life.
It seemed like
literally, like that, and that just goes. And I was just talking to my people about it Sunday morning before we recorded our podcast. Like that's how I know like everything's different here. Like, cause y'all got to see literally in 4K in real live time, like really how I am, like y'all. I even cried in front of people, and the crazy thing is, for me to do that, I don't think people realize, like I don't do that, bro. When Max passed away, or he was passing away in the hospital, and I went in there, and it was just me and him in there, and I'm seeing him look down those tubes, I was crying, bro, because it was just me and him, and I knew he wasn't looking at me. As soon as his wife walked in, wiped all that up, because I don't cry in front of people. When we did the little salute walk when they rolled them out, you know, donated, I didn't cry because everybody else was. I'm trying to be strong for everybody. I wait till I got in the car. I don't do that in front of people. Like what Chris has said, and then like I was just looking around and everybody's nodding in approval and nodding, like respecting the fact, like acknowledging the fact, no, this dude really changed. He really put in, bro. It meant the world to me. And that's what, like, I was dancing and everything. Like, so that's how you know.
No,
like this place is family, bro. For real, you can't buy this place, bro. You can't buy something like that.
See, I really identify with that. Not like when you're very like I don't cry in front of people. I have a real big problem with that.
He does.
If I cry in front of people, I get so upset. But
Me too.
I think that's just a product of the generation that you and I kind of come from because we're not that far apart. You're my brother's age, so I mean we're not that far apart. The generation that we came from, like that generation raising us, always told us like men don't cry, and like my dad, he had a real I'm trying to cut the F words out. I am trying, Leon. He had a real messed up perspective on the way life was. He would tell me, like, if you let people see you cry, then they know what makes you cry. And it's not if they make you cry with it, it's when they do it. It's when they use your weakness against you. So you don't cry. You don't show anybody that you're weak. Tears are a sign of weakness. And I was just like, okay. And so I would hold it in. I wouldn't cry in front of anyone. When my grandmother died, not a tear. Not a tear. I'm in that funeral sitting next to my mother. She is beside herself. She's lost her sister and her mother within a year of each other. She's out of it. And I'm just sitting there stone faced and had to deal with the consequences of that. Unfortunately, my family being like, oh, he didn't have any feelings. He didn't love any of it. He didn't care. I care very deeply. Sometimes, for some reason, that one member of the family feels like they have to be the pillar and they hold all that stuff until they can't anymore. And I'm starting to get away from it. I'm starting to become a little bit more vulnerable, and seeing you up there and accepting your award and having the strength to stand up there and be raw and real and open yourself up to people like that's the goal at the end of the day. That's what we're trying to move to. It's acceptable now, and it's great. It just, like I said, I think it's just a product of where we come from. Like the environment of the everything around us, the way that people thought and the way people saw the world was just this very closed-minded, tears are for ladies. And I just, no, man. But I got to tell you, when they were talking about, before they said the name of the most loved, I was going back in between two people trying to figure out which one, because I was guessing winners all night long.
I ain't gonna lie. If you'll be honest, you'll be raw, real honest.
Yeah, go for it.
I was honestly thinking it was me or MK. Like, I was like, the way I was like, it's gonna be me or him.
That's what I thought.
But
that's exactly what I thought. I was like going over to Willie, and then I go over to MK, and then I'd roast him a little bit in my head because he looked way better than I did. So I had to bring him down to my level. Mm-hmm. And then the first thing I said to MK when I saw him, I shook his hand, and I said, MK, you look like you have a bottle of baby powder in your pocket.
And he said, I might.
He said, I might. I don't think he got the joke.
No.
But that's fine. He probably didn't see.
Yeah, I said he looked like a pimp, boy.
Yeah, I said that, like, I was on the ride home and I just started laughing because I'm a little tipsy on the ride home. I don't drink a whole lot, so when I'm getting fed Don Julio's...
Guess what? Neither do I. And that's the only time I will drink is at those Christmas parties. That's it.
I drink 3 times a year. I drink on my birthday. I drink at Christmas time if I don't want to be where I'm at. And then every once in a while during the summer, I get this weird feeling like right in August, like I need whiskey and bourbon, and I will just binge it all night long. Leon over here is looking at me weird.
Why don't you just go to Gatlinburg for a week in August and just chill? Because
I like bourbon, not whiskey. I'm a Kentuckian. I like a little bit of whiskey, but I'm more of a bourbon. I'll sit down with a glass of Wild Turkey 101. And we're done. But so I don't drink very much. So I'm in the car and I'm laughing, and then I'm drunk. I hit my pen a couple times. I was feeling good, and my old lady's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "Michael looked like a Mississippi pimp." And then I just went to sleep. I went to sleep till we got to Owensboro. And then I wake up and she's laughing. I was like, what? She goes, you just passed out. You just insulted that man's outfit. And then just went to sleep. I was like,
yeah. Nah, he be looking good. Every year he be dressed. I'm like, I know he gonna win something. He dressed like, he gotta win something dressed like that.
I put her on something real fast.
But he motivates me. He really, like, that's one of my, like, I'm telling you. And I will always go on record saying, like, I get that I'm the most loved, and I get I'm number one contender. But I will say until the day I die, that man, MK Swift, is going to be our face of the company.
Oh, that guy's got it.
And that's not even what I'm just trying to push to be like I'm trying to use it like almost like just basically an attraction. Like I still want to be in the world titles and get all that and do all that. But that is our face of the company for the baby faces.
he is. I mean, he's got it. He's got star written on him. Y'all got a couple guys that are like that. I mean, and I have I usually keep a little list of that stuff just because I want to remember when I see these guys on TV. I used to work with them a little bit in this little company. I think quite a few guys. I got the Ed Factor. You, MK, EB hadn't even debuted yet, and I say it every time I see him. Bro, you got star written all over you.
Superstar. Bro, I told him that at the Christmas party. I said, bro, everything always comes full circle. Even with some of the stuff we say in this conversation, I literally told him, we was just sitting there. I was like, bro, next year you're gonna be getting all type of award. I said, rookie of the year, you getting that? Then Ray came up to him, was like, hey, that rookie of the year gonna be looking good for you next year. Thomas walks up to him, hey, bro, you gonna get that rookie of the, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, his future is already laid out. He just gotta go. He's gotta go perform, and I believe 1,000% he's gonna do it. He's got the look, he got the attitude, he got the hard work ethic, he got the mindset to be great. He wants to be better than everybody else on that roster in a positive way to motivate. Just like I do, just like MK, only person that can mess him up is him.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, and there's so many more to have to sit and go through a name. I could spend 15 minutes putting over each guy. I swear it would take me 4 parts of a podcast if you just made me start at the top of that roster and be like, go, why are these guys stars? Boom, and hit them up. It's such a strange thing, especially taking people to shows. We took some people that we know to Livermore with us after the first show we were working there. My girlfriend came, brought the baby down, brought these folks down as a woman we know and her son, and they get up and they're going to the concession stand. I was like, so what do you think? And the lady's like, well, she goes, I got to tell you, she goes, it's not exactly what I expected. And I was like, oh, see, she's not a wrestling fan. She's thinking it's all WWE, AEW. And that's not at all what she said. She said, no. She goes, I expected dirt floors and thumbtacks and light tubes and barbed wire. When I think about this level of wrestling, I don't think about this. And she's kind of waves to all of it. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I've seen promotions that have high-end indie stars, actual legit, people have been in WWE, AEW, people have been in those companies
that are now on
not
the
just
indies.
for a cup of coffee, that are on the indies, wrestling at a place where the barricade is rope and traffic cones. Yeah. And you go to the WWA and it's pyro and it's music and it's lights and it's an actual barricade and chairs and professional looking wrestlers. No, methed out looking, especially in the Kentucky area, specifically our little corner of Kentucky. You don't have that. You have people there that look like stars, that act like stars, that carry themselves like stars. It's a phenomenal company. But I do kind of want to get into a segment with you, and then I've got a question for you afterwards. So we started this thing with Alexander Knight, and I got a lot of positive feedback about it. People really liked it. I've come up with this thing. It's a questionnaire. A lot of good journalists they usually have one, a little rapid fire questionnaire. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and just in a few words, you answer it with me. Some of them are going to be a little weird, and some of them are going to be just normal. But the first one I like to start out with is, what is your favorite thing about stepping through the curtain?
My favorite thing about stepping through the curtain?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. It'd be the energy of the crowd, and especially the kids. I think that, that's just a feeling you can't buy.
You can't. It's a whole nother feeling. If heaven exists, who's the first wrestler you hope to run into?
First of all, it do exist. And
yeah, I have to ask it for everybody.
I know what you're saying, but I just gotta be myself.
That's my boy right there.
For sure.
And the first person I would want to run into probably be Eddie Guerrero.
That's actually the answer
Solid.
I expect from everybody. I have to tell everybody Alexander Knight said Chris Benoit.
He did.
You're looking for the wrong place, brother.
Yeah, I told him, I said, no, Chris Benoit didn't count because we know that's not where he is. That's not where he's at.
They might be looking at wrong. Does the GPS take you the wrong way, man?
So the next one, because we can go on this for a while. The next one, when your career is over, what would you like your legacy to be?
Man, the greatest of all time.
Super answer.
What is your pre-match ritual that people wouldn't think is your thing?
I do the same thing. I'll just go over the match, and then right before I know my music hit, I just stand by the curtain and I pray over me. I pray over my opponent. I pray over the match and everything else. And that music hit, it's time to go.
See, I respect that.
The last question on the questionnaire was specifically designed for melanated guests.
Okay.
Because I've always wanted to know this my whole life. I've asked every one of my friends, and none of them can tell me why. Why is Jeff Hardy invited to the cookout?
Because that is the hood favorite. Jeff Hardy is like everybody's got the token white guy. The hood group, every hood, it could be a gang, it could be anything. If it's a bunch of black people, you got that one guy. Usually his name is White Mike or something. Usually it's White Mike. But bro, that's what they know. Like, most people's favorite wrestlers are gonna be like, you know, you be like, who your favorite wrestler? They'll be like, John Cena is so and so. 9 times out of 10, if you go ask a black person, hey man, who your favorite wrestlers? If they around my age, they're gonna be like Jeff Hardy's and stuff like that. The older people like Dusty Rhodes. But like that's just who I think black people were related to, and like I guess that's who they, you know, made they token white guy in wrestling. It was Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was that dude. They love Rey Mysterio too, though.
Yes, now we talk about this a lot because like I grew up in the projects. I grew up predominantly around black and Mexican children, so I was always more connected to 2 other cultures before my own. My mom was never home, so me and my brother just ran the streets of the Rolling Heights in Owensboro. Back then it wasn't so bad. Now I wouldn't recommend children do that, but it wasn't so bad then. But it was very devoid of Caucasian. So my brother and I got to know black and Hispanic and a little bit of Asian culture more than our own, and we always kind of seemed to follow that. No matter where we lived, we were always around, you know, people who were not like us, so we could learn more. But my best friend from then, or you know, my best friend now from then, Mike, he's a black guy, and we hang out a lot, and he got to hang around my son. And one day we're sitting there drinking, and I said, Mike, why do black people love Jeff Hardy so much? And then he just started laughing. He never answered my question. I've asked him every year for the past 7 or 8 years. He'll never answer me. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, why is the sun shine? Why is the sky blue? And that's all he'll say and go about it. So, see, that's a lot better understanding. I just always wanted this my whole life. And the Rey Mysterio, I get that, though. Rey Mysterio, that's a real easy for anybody to like. It's always been something that I was like, well, I wonder why that is. Then I was like, we don't have that equivalent. I make that joke all the time to Leon. I was like, we don't have that equivalent, and I found out we do have that equivalent. It's Bobby Lashley. It's Bobby Lashley.
As a white people cult favorite, Bobby Lashley.
That's what every time I ask like a white dude who his favorite wrestler is, and he doesn't tell me Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold Steve Austin, they say Bobby Lashley. And I don't.
Okay, Robert.
I'll never understand why, but we have that equivalent. I do not like Bobby Lashley though, so I'm the outside of it. I think he's boring. It's like watching paint dry. He's just big, but like for some reason, certified Caucasian classic.
Bobby Lashley.
The CCC is Bobby Lashley. But no, I put this question.
It's like, the headband.
I even look at Leon, like when we interviewed Dash, I told him, I was like, you can break down culture with wrestling very, very easily. And I was like, that's how I got to be able to integrate into other cultures with not growing up around a lot of white kids. Like I got anime through hanging out with my black friends. I got through, wrestling, hanging out with my Latino friends and stuff like that. And I was like, if we ask a Hispanic wrestler who his favorite is, he's going to tell us Rey Mysterio or he's going to tell us Eddie Guerrero. I said, if we have a black wrestler and we ask him his favorite wrestler, he's going to say Jeff Hardy or Rey Mysterio every single time. And every time I ask the question and I get that answer, I just slam my pen down and stare at Leon. Because I'm like, do you see? You can break everything down with pro wrestling. Something as so simple as cultural differences can be broken down with pro wrestling, and that's why it's so awesome.
If you look at the WWA, just imagine in your head right now all the people that you seen go get an award at the Saturday last.
Yeah.
You know, it was just all like it was just all different. You know what I mean? When I was wrestling it for real at WWA before Matt Diesel came along, I was the only black person there.
Yeah. Well, see, and I always tell people, like, with pro wrestling, for the longest time, it was a very homophobic, racist subculture. I mean, you hear stories now coming out, Devon talking about JR didn't like him because he was black and stuff like that, and, like, guys dealt with that all the time. Ron Simmons getting the title put on
Tony
him.
Atlas and all them guys.
Like, the first black world champion was in 1989. Wrestling had been a thing professionally on television for 40 years at that point. Or 50 years at that point, however long TV had been on, pro wrestling had been on television, and it took us until 1989 or 1990 to put the belt on an African-American wrestler, because it's always been this kind of thing, and now we're coming out on the other side. Tolerance has finally started touching pro wrestling, and you don't have that anymore. You don't have the token black guy, the token Asian guy, the token Mexican guy. Hell, there's an entire stable of dudes in the WWA that their whole gimmick is predicated on they're all biracial Mexican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there is.
And plus the WWA changed me too, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Coming from where I come from, like, it wasn't like purposely, but I used to be inherently homophobic though. Like,
yeah.
not in like to where I hated you because you had a different preference than I did. It was the fact of where I'm from. I wasn't hugging no person that did like dudes, because if you see me hugging somebody like that, you gonna think that's me.
Right.
Or I couldn't hang around you like that because they gonna think I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I always used to be. And then, like, that's why I said RP Logan legit, because he the one changed me.
Yeah.
One day we was in Evansville and I gave him a hug. And it just felt normal. It didn't feel like nothing weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, bro. But like, it changed my life. Logan legit changed my life.
See, we had.
He don't even.
Oh no, he did like that. That's a thing that we had a teacher in school. We had a guy just like that. It was like, I'm not hugging a man for no reason at all. I'm barely going to shake hands with a man. He was very homophobic, and we had a teacher named Sean Williams. He's a coach now in Owensboro, owns a barbershop. He actually is the first guy to tell me not to let white people cut my hair, because I was letting a white guy cut my hair, and he came in the Job Corps Center. We had a little barbershop, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm getting a haircut." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, I need a haircut. I need to get lined up and get faded up." He said, "Turn around and look at your barber." And I did, and he said, "Wrong color." And I just started laughing. He goes, "Black and Dominican only, son. Black and Dominican only." So since then, I've always had that rule, and he's never been wrong. Every time I let a white guy cut my hair, he messes it up. But he's sitting in front of the class talking to this student when he says that. And he's like, "Let me tell you something, man." He's like, "This is something culturally ingrained into us." He was like, "I used to be that way." He said, "Then I had a friend who I found out was gay. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to stop talking to my friend because now he likes something different than I like? That seems kind of silly. We've been friends our whole lives." He's like, "Well, then, he goes, a couple years later, we get old enough to drink. We're having some drinks one night." And I asked him, I said, "If you're gay, why have you never hit on me? I'm just curious." And he was like, "Well, because you're not gay." And then the teacher just kind of looks at him. He goes, "If a gay guy comes up and hits on you, man," he's like, "you got something in you." He's just trying to roast him, and he slaps him on the shoulder. He's like, "No, but seriously, like, there's nothing different, man. We're all people." Well, we end up coming to find out that guy was incredibly homophobic because he was gay. Now this guy's like a literal activist. So it's like, that's what I had figured out. Like, this is a cultural thing that reached across several cultures, especially people our age. Like, if you go back and watch TV from when we were kids, that shit is diabolical how homophobic it is. Like, everything was like, "Man, quit being gay," when we're trying to like talk about quit being dumb or stupid or things like that. And we've always done this as a culture. It's always been in the zeitgeist. It's just always a different thing. Right now it's transphobia. Well, it used to be homophobia in the 90s and 2000s. Then it was, hardcore racism. And then we just swapped groups that we hated, going all the way back, all the way to the beginning of human time. It just, where the time that we come from, that's what the culture was. Ew. What do you mean you like guys? But see, we're fine when girls like girls. I'm real, like, I get real passionate talking about this kind of thing because, like, it just seems so silly to me that we would look at anybody and be like, "I'm gonna yuck your yum so hard that I'm gonna hate you for it." And that's something I appreciate about WWA is that, like, everyone can be themselves. Everybody can be who they are. everybody's respected for who they are, no matter what your color,
Yeah.
your race, your creed, your sex, your orientation.
There's no judgment in the locker
No
room
judgment.
at
Like
all.
Leon over here, he's a very rare cat there. Leon is so into his faith, he's never had a drink before. Like, he's never had a cigarette before because his Bible says not to do those things. He is in a locker room full of people who cuss and drink and smoke and do all these things, and they look at him, someone who doesn't, and someone who thinks that that's not right to do any of those things, and they still look at him and go, we love you. And he does the same in kind. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, bro, that's what I like too. Like, there's people that don't believe in God. There's people that, you know what I'm saying, that would vote differently than I would.
Yeah, I remember that being a big deal there for a few minutes.
I just try to, hey, man, people gonna be how they gonna be. Like, I just realize, but we all are different. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are different colors, different genders. Some people got different sexual preferences. Shoot, none of that matter in the end. Shoot, all that matters is, shoot, are you a good person? Are you gonna do the right thing when, you know what I'm saying, whether I'm on the camera or whether you're off the camera? Like, that's what, like, just be a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you won that award that you won, which is gonna bring me into our closing. We have a little like closing segment we do where we just hit you with the last few questions that we have. And before I go, I just wrote this down because I was not aware that you had a podcast. So go ahead and take a few minutes and plug that, because I'm definitely going to take a listen to that for 100% certainty.
Yeah, we just made it, but it's a 1,000 graps, the number 1,000 and graps on YouTube.
Okay.
And truly, like, cause it really started from going live, like, on my TikTok.
Yeah.
My TikTok blew up, so it's just, we do live podcasts, but we also record and post on YouTube, so.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go
Awesome.
on YouTube and look that up. I'm gonna listen to that on the way home because I could already tell. Like, I told Eli before we did this show, I was like, you know how in wrestling you go to wrestle somebody and you know that they're just so good, they're gonna take such good care of you. I was like, we call that a night off. I was like, that's always been called. That's a night off right there. I got the night off tonight. Well, I thought you're working. Yeah, but look who I'm working. I got the night off. I'm going to walk away barely bumped up. Most of the pain I'm going to get is the bumps I take myself. And that's what, I was like, that's what this podcast is going to be tonight. So I literally came into this thing. I have no notes. I have my questionnaire that I ask in front of me. I have no notes. I just have night off in my head. But I did write down about the podcast because I just... Like, if you're half as interesting on that podcast as you are in the ring and are in this episode right here, then y'all keep going on that and make that something, because you're definitely... I've seen your TikTok. Like, your TikTok followers are... I thought mine were impressive for... mine are like 4,000 or 5,000 now, and I go to look at yours, and you're double mine, more than double mine. Like, I think you're quite a few times over. How many do you have exactly right now? Do you know?
I got like 120,000, something like that.
Lord have mercy. Last time I looked, I think it was like below 100,000. Like, it was a while back I looked at it or something. I don't remember, but 120,000. Is there a secret to that? Because I can't figure out how to break past where I'm at.
Bro, I just usually, I just post, bro. I just post.
Because you're not the hit maker. He is.
No, not even that. I post, but I also go live though. So like, I utilize the live a lot. Like, most of the time, like, even on the people on the podcast I met through TikTok, like, I don't know them personally. Like, I've met Pocket and people, like, certain people like that in person, but like we don't be around each other every day. We all in different states and this and that, but like, I just utilize that because wrestling is the easiest thing, and like, God has blessed me to like do a lot of things, even the stuff I got to do when I left WWE, like wrestle Javon Evans, Saquon Sugar, Sabu, Carlito, people like that, and do like several different things that I ain't never. And I got most of this because of WWA clips. Most of the stuff that ever went popular on my TikTok was WWA clips, like me putting Nick Depp nuts on the guardrails, grabbing a fan popcorn and smacking them with it. Like, the first time, like, that was my first ever TikTok video on my first account, and it did like 32 million views or something like that. It went crazy. I kind of had a jump start from there. And then my action figure stuff always took off too. So.
And anybody
awesome.
who knows Nick Depp, at least as a character, knows that he the platinum standard full well deserved to get hit in the face with popcorn. That dude is a heel. That guy's a heel. He's so good at it.
He is. Now, so moving on to our next topic, because me and Casey are super big nerds on finishers.
Yeah. We sit around and it'd be like, hey, how you think? We think this will look good? What if we did this? Like, how does this look?
So how did you get to where you have decided this is what I'm going to use as my finish?
Well, really, because when I came back, and this is wrestling, so it happens. But when I came back to WWE, a lot of my moveset that I was kind of known for, people started doing. Like, I couldn't do my frog splash no more because MK got a frog splash. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Lucas Tyler and I do kind of similar. Like, so a lot of people just had like different stuff. So I just wanted what can I do that's gonna separate me, my finisher, from their finisher, where people know like, okay, this is his finisher. Because it's easy for wrestlers to go out there and have matches and people don't fully know like, okay, this is it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, what am I gonna do? So that's why I was like, man, let me just do the let me hit a dude with it. I ain't say dude, I said N-word. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said N-word. Hit it with a top rope drop, like a top rope leg drop. I think, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, because like nobody does that. I guess because of the butt bump you got to take with it.
Yeah.
Like nobody does stuff like that. So I was like, shoot, I feel like that's unique. It makes me stand out. I don't want to be compared or look to like nobody else. I want to be Willie Finesse. I want to be the hit maker. I want it. When you see that, you be like, oh no, Willie Finesse does that.
Yeah.
So and so does this. You know what I mean? So that's really why I picked it, because I didn't think nobody else would do something like that.
That's awesome.
See, Caleb and Leon will be, they sit up front in the car on the rides. I'll ride with them and like film them, and in between us filming, because we're shooting a documentary about them becoming wrestlers. In between the filming, we'll sit and just talk about finishers the whole time, and then they'll be like, Leon will say, well, I think I'd like to be able to get to where I could do this, and then one of us will sit there for a minute and go, no, so and so does that, or so and so does a version of it. And then he's like, we just did it the other day. He was like, what if I ran back against the ropes, springboard off the bottom into a spear? I was like, dude, that would look really good. I was like, you're gonna have a conversation with Hawkins though.
I was like, oh yeah.
I was like, you can't just go out there and like do somebody else's finish a different way and be like, yeah, it's different. They're not gonna, no, that's not how this flies. But we'll just sit there and be like, no, so and so does it. And then we'll get to like popular wrestlers and be like, no, because every time you hit that move, that's the only thing they're going to think about. The only thing they're going to think about is, he did a sit-out power bomb. Batista does that. Hit him with a Batista bomb. Or like when Munchie does the cutter, people go RKO, and I'm like, it's a cutter. It's only an RKO when Randy does it. It's only a diamond cutter when DDP does it. When anybody else does it, it's a cutter. Unless they name it something, I get so frustrated about it. So I have to preach to them like, you got to pick something you can hit everybody with. Like mine, I could hit everybody with mine.
Yes.
Walls of Jericho. I could hit everybody. Big, small, tall, fat, skinny. I could put you in the Walls of Jericho. I could put you in the Lion Tamer if you're little. If you're a big guy, I'm not putting that knee in your back. I'll murder you.
I genuinely think to be great, you need to not to be great, but I'm probably over dramatic with that. But I do think you need an actual finisher and a great submission.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I'm gonna tap you out with the figure 4 too. I ain't gonna just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tap you out too.
The figure 4, every time I go to put one of these guys in the figure 4, they're like, I'm like, hey, stop it. Just give me your foot. I'm not going to hyperextend your knee. Just give me your leg. I know it's been a long time since I've done this, but there are just certain things you don't forget. I've been putting the kids in figure 4 since they was able to walk. I got you. And then I'll do it to them like, I'm so used to doing this with little people's legs. I'm so used to doing this with a 12-year-old who will just take whatever move, because I'll be like, hey,
and then we
Dad
have
wants
super long legs. He's like, I can't twist.
I'll be like, Dad wants to try something. Come here, and he's like, all right, let me get over here. And like that's real life how I found what my finishes were when I was wrestling, was just like stuff my brother did to me as a kid.
And then you're like, I'm gonna try.
And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do that. And like, because if my fat ass brother can do it, I know I could do it. And then like, so he would hit me with a pile driver all the time, and I was like, okay, he's hurting me with it. I know what he did to hurt me with it. I'll use a pile driver. I'll use the Walls of Jericho. Like, it's real. It's not a simple deal to come across. That's why it's just so fascinating to us, the mindset that people get into when they're like, this is a finisher. But and some people will tell you a finisher's anything you get the 3 count with, but that's Yes.
But it has to be
Yes.
believable.
Yes, like I have to look at it and be like, yeah. When I see EB debut, I do not expect him to do an F5 to anybody. You know what I mean? Like whatever he's gonna do is gonna match him. Like that. That's what you have to do. You have to build it around. Can I do it? Like he'll pitch something to me. I'm like, can you do that to Bo? And then he'll be like, well, never mind. Or sometimes he'll be like Brady or Sawyer, and I'm like, you know which Bo? And he's like, yeah, all right. So, and he'll scratch it off his list. Like, nope, I'm not hitting Bo Sawyer with that move.
And that's funny, y'all said that's another reason why I decided to come off the top rope, because it's more devastating to somebody like a Bo Sawyer, or
Right.
Yeah.
like to protect them type of people, Game Time Onyx and stuff like that.
Yeah, y'all got big dudes there. I mean, Alpha, Kana.
Big boys.
That's another. I was like,
Oh, God.
I was like, listen, Alpha, nothing you hit on Alpha is going to look believable. So just
No.
pick the closest thing you can.
I ain't gonna lie, you gotta shoot him.
Yeah, it's.
Look, it's going to have to be one of those, you hit him with a low blow and then an eye poke and brass knucks and then just roll him up, because there ain't
Look.
nothing else you're going to do.
I am scared of no man that walks the earth, right?
Except for Alpha
I'm not
Kana.
scared. No, listen, I'm not scared of any man that walks the earth. There's no man that I wouldn't pick a fight with if I needed to. I would second guess fighting Alpha. Like, he walked up behind
And
Leon.
plus, I know you be in there like watching the training and stuff. Like, you see how fast he bumps.
Yes.
Yes. And he's older than me, which is
He's
scarier.
35 and it scares me.
Like, dog, you was 9 feet tall. Calm down, bro. Listen, the first day I seen dude, the first day I never asked him his name or nothing. I'm just looking at him, and then I told everybody, and I'm still watching. I guarantee you, when time passed, this is why this is gonna be one of the best podcast interviews you ever had, because he gonna be the longest reigning WWE champion of all time. I'm calling it now.
Nobody's going to be able. I'm just waiting on the shoe to drop and he attacks Clay. I know it's going to happen because it's pro wrestling. It always happens. Diesel, Shawn Michaels, always happens.
Well, let's hope he does that if I have to face Kill for the title so I can win.
That's right.
Look, that would.
So that's a less problem I got to deal with.
So here's the thing about that. It's funny that you say that because I like the fantasy book a lot. Like I love that about wrestling. That's why, like I said earlier in the podcast today that with Eli that we did that. Like I used to think my pro wrestling career was over, and then I just like heard your speech and you said something that stood out to me. You said that it's not the day you're born or the day you die. I'm paraphrasing. Not the day you're born, not the day you die that matters. It's the hyphen in between where you make your mark. And I heard that and I was like, it just hit me. I was like, there's so much more stuff I could do. And I'm just racking. I love the fantasy booking. I love this. Some folks know. And I literally sat the other day and I was trying to figure out where storylines are going. And I've been right. Like, I don't have anybody in the booking meetings telling me anything. I've never asked any questions. I'm following pro wrestling rules, and I'm just going down the line. All I'm doing is speeding up how long it will go because we're on the indies, and you can't keep a 2-year-long storyline going like that very easily when your crowd changes. So, you know, somebody in Bowling Green might not have went to Livermore, and somebody in Livermore might not have went to Owensboro, so it might not always land. So I'm booking it in a way that makes sense. Something short, sweet, that Chris can put up, that Thomas can get, who I forget, you know, Munchie and Ray can cook up. I just speed it up. And the next 3 things I have on my booking list is Eddyville, Natural Causes wins the belts off the Golden Gods, and then I forget what's in the middle, and then it's off. It turns on Clay, and Willie becomes the WWA champion. It's what makes sense.
Listen, I would love if that happens. Listen, I don't care if it's like they're both like I got 2 challenges regardless. If Alexander Knight wins, hey, I know I'm in the fight of my life because he gonna bring it, and then Clay's still tough. But I know I've beaten him. I beat him when I first got back. My first day back, I beat him. So, but he's got a 30,000-foot tall dude who can get on his tippy toes and give Mount Everest a high five. So I got to worry about that.
Who can throw a drop kick and hit it perfectly.
We were
No, for real, man.
we were breaking a ring down the other night, and it was that last show before our break, and we're breaking the ring down. And no, it was the show before the last show for our break. We're breaking the ring down and everything, and like Atlas goes up and grabs his ring post, and then I forget who's over. I think it's like Santos or something. Then I grab one, and then Alpha grabs one, and we're kind of struggling with it a little bit. They're not light. Like, people look at a wrestling ring, and they're looking at the wrong things. They're like, where's the spring? Where's the padding? No. Look at these ring posts that are solid steel, and they're heavy. And, like, look how, like, a wrestling ring is a lot heavier than people expect it to be.
Yeah.
So we pick these things up. We're all kind of struggling. I look over. Alpha's just carrying it, and he looks at me, and
He's
he
just
was
chilling.
He looks at me and he goes, "You good?" And I said, "Dude, don't even start with me right now. We're all three struggling with this. You're carrying that like it's a broom. You're 6 foot, 8 foot, 12, dog. Whatever." And I just turned around. I was so mad at him. I was like, "Ask me if I'm okay while you're carrying around something the equivalent of a toothpick to me."
Look, you know that you're an impressive size when Snyder walks beside you during the tag team match and goes, "Whoa, that's a big boy." When Snyder has to look up at you, you a big dude, okay?
Yeah. Dude is crazy. But we have one more question.
I can't wait for his future too, but go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's going to be bright and...
Very bright.
He just needs the right eyes on him. I mean, WWA is it could be a WWE ID factory tomorrow. It's all about the right eyes. But we have one final question that we always like to do at the end of this thing. Leon and I have both built our lives on hindsight. We don't live in regret, but we definitely look back at the things that we could have done differently, so that way we can live our lives a little better in the future, because history repeats itself, whether it's a major event in history or whether it's just, I ate a sandwich today. Well, about 2 months, you're going to eat that same sandwich again, and not really. History does repeat itself no matter what, even down to the littlest things. So hindsight is important. If you could go back that 11 years, you get to see young Willie Finesse fixing to break into the business. You get a chance to tell him one thing that's going to make this journey a lot easier. What's that piece of advice you would give him?
I'm gonna tell him it's just wrestling, bro. It's just wrestling. Because I used to get like I told you, when I was over, like I was over the first time too. And I'm saying that like just humbly. I ain't trying to say it to be cocky, but I was over it the first time too.
Right.
But like I took it so serious, and I also took it serious because it's the one thing you can't compare my dad to. This the one thing, so this one thing I feel like I have to be great at, if that makes sense. So I took it more serious than I was supposed to. When I won the tag team titles, I was happy, but then they took it off of us real quick. I didn't like stuff like that. He used to visually, it used to bother me. So then we win the titles back and get stripped of them, stuff like that, and so even like some of my run now, where you said, you get close to the title, you lose. The older me, I would have hated that.
Right.
I'd have started having problems with people they don't know how to book for real, they don't know how to do it. So I just tell myself, it's just wrestling, it's what you love. You don't have to win. And I wish I would have said this at the awards, so I'll say it now. I stood up there and won the most loved award, meaning out of everybody on that roster, they think I'm the most popular one. That's basically what they're telling me. And I'm a guy standing up there. I've been there for a year and some change. No singles titles under my belts. And you know what I'm saying? I'm still right here. Because it's just wrestling, bro. It's just wrestling.
That's exactly right. I remind this guy over here that all the time. He'll get in his head and he'll be like, what happens if I get a stupid comedy gimmick? I'm like, well, the biggest part of that is that every gimmick has a spot on the show. That's what you want.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable. You have to get up there. You got to get out there and learn to be comfortable. You got to get out there, and even they're still I'm real. I'm not gonna sit here and I don't know how to lie. I don't know how to be fake. There's still certain times in booking decisions that I wish stuff was different. There were times that I wish that I didn't not this show. I'm glad I get to just do a promo. But there's times I'd be booked on shows where I don't have a match and I just want to wrestle. There's times where you know what I'm saying, even the just, you know what I'm saying, we want you to go out here, you gonna battle rap.
Yeah. Yeah, just get something.
You don't get and only because sometimes I've only when y'all watch me do a cage match, that's the only stipulation match I've ever had in my entire wrestling career.
Wow.
Ever. So I've never really got to do a whole lot of different stuff, but every time I think something like, man, I wish this would go better, something great happens every single time. Like the moment with me and B Wood, like some of my best promos have been me just being there and cutting a promo, and that's it. Like every time I always had like a questionable thought, they always give me a reason of why not to, or why I should even think like that, because it always works out. Everything they book for me always has worked out.
Man, I love
That's
it.
awesome.
I can't think of another way to close out the show better than that, other than just to give you just a few seconds. We got the podcast plugged in, but I just want to give you an opportunity to plug everything else you have social media wise, where people can find you, because you are somebody to watch. When that 2026 Wrestlers to Watch list came out, I scoured that thing looking for your name. I found Hawkins' name instead, but I was like, surely Willie and a couple other guys are going to be on this. But so I just want to give you a chance to be able to tell everybody where they can put eyes on you, where they can see you, how they can find you out there. Just go ahead and however long you need to get that done.
Man, y'all just come to WWA Is Now, or the World Wrestling Alliance, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that, because you don't need to just see me. You need to see, like, there are so many people that need eyes on them. People like MK Swift, High Society, Lizzie Six, Clay, the whole roster. I don't even want to, like, not EB all day is on the way. So,
Yes.
like, there's so many people and so much great talent that y'all need to look out for, other than me. Y'all heard my name, so y'all, if you care and want to see me that much, go look it up.
That's right.
That's right. See, I love it, guys. We appreciate y'all tuning into this. We appreciate you giving us our time. As I say at the end of every show, time is finite. It is very important to me. You only get so much of it. The way I view time is so skewed. If you give me 2 hours of off time in the day, well, I don't have enough time to do anything, because I gotta give it all that I can. I gotta get every bit of it to mean something. So when someone sits down and gives me this episode right now, clocking it at 80 minutes and some change, anytime I can get that kind of time out of anybody, I am eternally grateful. Willie, we appreciate you coming on. Guys, love yourselves, love one another.
I appreciate y'all too.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. We're going to do this again for 100%.
Definitely.
I'm calling it now. We're doing this again.
Whenever I got y'all, man.
Yeah, we're doing this soon, guys.
If I
Y'all-
get that WWA title, I'm here.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
That's what I was going to pitch, too. So we're already on the same page.
Hey, look, if I got to, Willie, I'll jump that barricade, come help you, brother. Don't you worry about it.
Well, offer's big, so working good. Thank you.
He keeps one in the car.
I got one in the car.
He's
Don't you worry about
He's a smart kid. Guys, y'all take care of each other, and don't roll up on Leon because he's strapped. Thanks, Mom.